In this tutorial we're going to use HyperNURBS to create a low poly count laundry jug. We will also be using the extrude tool, the extrude inner tool, and the bridge tool. We're going to start the laundry jug by using a cube under the geometric primitives. Bring in a cube and we're going to name it jug. This is a pre-built geometric primitive, so it has certain attributes or characteristics that we can modify. We're going to go down to attributes. These are the preset attributes for a cube. You'll notice that on segments we have X, Y, and Z, and there's one each. That means for each side of the cube there is one polygon, or one segment. We want to increase the number of segments so we have more polygons to work with. We're going to change our X to 3, leave the Y at 1, and change Z to 5. As you click away, you'll see that we have increased the number of polygons for each side based upon the numbers we've entered. So on our X-axis, which is our red axis, we have 3 polygons on that side. On the Z-axis, we have 5 polygons. Before we make this primitive editable so that we can adjust the polygons, we need to reshape it a little bit. We're going to start by scaling it. There are a number of ways I can do this. As we've learned before, we can use our scale tool at the top of the window. If I click on that, my properties down here are going to change. So I'm in the scale tool, and these are the attributes for that. If I click back on the jug, it will give me the attributes back for the jug, or our cube. We still have this as a primitive, so that we can modify the shape of this using the primitive properties. So under size X, if I want this to be 150, I can just type in 150, as opposed to using the scale tool and just estimating it. Many aspects of modeling are very visual, so if you are more comfortable manually changing your sizes and you don't need the precision, there's nothing wrong with that. For my Y, I'm going to change it on the properties here. We're going to change that to 300, and that looks good. Now we're ready to make it editable so that we can modify the individual polygons. Remember, when you do this, you are losing all the controls you had for a pre-built primitive, the ones we were just working with, the segments and the sizes. So on the far left, if you click on the globe, this is our Make Object Editable button. Click on that, and right away you'll notice in your Object Manager that our cube icon is now a polygon, because this is now an editable object. And you'll notice in our attributes we do not have segments, we do not have size. So now we're ready to manipulate our polygons, and what we'll need to do, we've been in our model tool, we need to go down to our polygon tool. So as soon as we do that, you'll notice our polygons turn blue, and as you move your mouse on them, they highlight. We want to work on the top, and we need to make a selection here. Make sure you're in your selection tool at the top. If you hold the selection tool, if you hold your mouse button down and move it around the top grid, you should be able to select a 3x3 area. Couple things with the selection tool. When you're in the selection tool, you have the attributes on the right hand side. If the radius you're selecting with is too large, you can drop this down. So now I can select more precise. So now I can select a smaller polygon. If you selected an extra polygon, you can hold your control key down and click on it, and that will deselect it. Okay, we have these selected now so that we can extrude them. We want to make the top part of this jug. The extrude tool is located under Structure, Extrude. So let's see how the extrude tool works. I have polygon selected, so that's what it's going to act upon. If I grab an axis, I'm actually moving my polygons. I'm not extruding them. This is very different. What I want to do with the extrude tool is grab into space, hold my mouse button down, and drag to the right or to the left. If I go to the left, it goes down. Go to the right, it goes up. It looks like the same as the moving, but it's not. So I want to go about that high. Now I'm going to let go of my mouse button, and then I'm going to push it down again, and I'm going to drag again, and you'll notice that a new set of polygons is being created. We want those to be cubes, so make them about square visually. That's how the extrude tool works. It extrudes polygons from the ones you have selected. Now we need to make a selection on the top, and we're going to extrude the top of the bottle. So I'm going to go to my selection tool again, and I want to pick only the center polygon. I only want the center polygon. Okay, now I'm going to turn it so I can see it, and I'm going to go back up to my extrude tool. Now grabbing out in space again, I'm going to extrude it up, and again keep it a little bit longer than a cube. Okay, now we can turn this around so we can look at the top. And this is the spout of our bottle, so we need a hole here. We're going to go up to Structure, and this time we're going to use Extrude Inner. Works the same way. Grab out into space, hold your mouse down, and drag left to right. You'll notice you'll create a polygon inside and the connecting polygons. You want to make it small enough so that we have a wall thickness, but not too big. And now we're going to go to Structure again and back to Extrude, and we're going to extrude this down. Again, left to right. We're going to the left to go down. The depth doesn't really matter because we won't see inside of it, so I went about that deep. Now we're going to create a handle on the side. Let me turn this around a little bit. Grab my selection tool, and I'm going to select this upper polygon, and I'm going to select, using my shift key, this lower polygon. Two polygons selected. Go to Structure, go down to Extrude, grab out in space, and as you move left to right, actually to the right, these will extrude toward each other. And about like that. Now, the next thing we're going to do, go up to Structure, and we're going to get a Bridge tool. The Bridge tool works by connecting polygons. We already have these polygons selected. If you deselected them, you need to reselect them. And we need to tell the computer what points go with what points. So if you watch mine, I'm going to go to this far outside point, hold my mouse down, and you'll notice it snaps automatically to the corresponding point on the other polygon. When I let go, I have a bridge. And I've created some polygons for the handle. Now you're probably saying, well, that doesn't look much like a laundry jug. But it certainly has a low poly count, which means it doesn't have very many polygons. That's what we want. We need a very low poly count. The way we make it look actually like a jug is another tool called the HyperNURBS. This is one of the NURBS we haven't used yet. Grab your HyperNURBS and drop your jug in. And voila, we have a laundry jug with a very low poly count. Make sure you're saving. If you haven't saved up to this point, you're very, very brave. Now create a cap, apply some materials, some lighting, and do a basic animation with it.